Good morning and welcome to Newswatch Today. I'm Elizabeth Fry.
And I'm Michael Gibson. Coming up, a recap of the final presidential debate.
We'll also look at Evangel University homecoming.
And Brian's here with your forecast, plus Brock has the latest with your sports news. This is Newswatch Today.
We begin this morning with Brian, who's here with an update on our current weather conditions. Brian, yesterday that rain was insanely crazy. Today it was windy when I was walking to the studio. What in the world is today going to look like for us?
Well, that huge thunderstorm rolled in last night, and I personally think that with that thunderstorm, I think fall is finally going to start to transition, at least consistent fall temperatures. It seems like the thunderstorm pushed out all the warmer temperatures because of all the high humidity and all that jazz. But the current conditions right now, it's overcast, 54 degrees, north wind of 13 miles an hour. We still have some high humidity, but it's not really projected to bring in any thunderstorms or anything like that. So I think that it's going to be a rather cool fall day today.
And some thunderstorms last night while we were watching the debate.
Absolutely.
My power went out a couple of times actually, so I missed half of it. Yeah.
Oh no.
That's right. The cable went down on campus, and you couldn't watch the debate. You couldn't watch half of the debate.
Yeah, I had to switch to my computer.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we don't have any more weather like that with the cable going out for the Cubs game this week.
Hopefully not.
Well,
That's Liz's big priority.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It really is. We'll look forward to your full forecast a little bit later on. Thanks, Brian. Students are on edge after gunshots rang out Tuesday outside June Jordan High School. The San Francisco shooting took place as students were being dismissed for the day around 2:30 p.m. Officers have confirmed that one teen girl was shot along with 3 teen boys. The girl is still in critical condition with life-threatening injuries to her upper torso. As of this morning, no arrests have been made, and there are only vague descriptions of 4 suspects in dark hoodies and dark jeans running from the area. Classes did resume Wednesday at the high school with grief counselors available to the students.
Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump took the stage for their third and final debate Wednesday evening, and once again, audiences were treated to a political boxing match in their last effort to speak to the American public about the real issues surrounding the country, and no topic was off limits. Among these topics were the appointment of Supreme Court justices, gun control, abortion, immigration policies, the economy, and national security. However, maybe the most talked about topic from Wednesday night was whether or not each candidate would accept the outcome of the election. The American people make their voices heard on Election Day, which is just 20 days away on November 8th. Liz, what a debate last night. It was so much fun to be able to watch it, and just such an interesting political season that we've had.
I know, it's been really crazy, and as it's drawing to a close, it's definitely heating up.
Yep.
And I'm eager to see what the outcome's going to be.
I know, just 20 days.
20 days, that's all there is.
Pretty exciting. First, coming up next, a closer look at Evangel's preparations for homecoming.
We'll be right back.
How do we learn? We learn from study, practice, and concentration. We learn from falling down and from getting back up. We learn from those who have gone before us. We learn from each other. And we learn from looking inside ourselves. And as we learn to learn, we grasp more than just knowledge. We learn the wisdom to apply it. Because learning is more than discovering how to do what we do. It's also discovering why we do it. Evangel University.
M&M's will soon have a trendy, permanent new flavor, caramel. Each bite-sized lentil of the newest candy has a soft caramel center covered in milk chocolate. It's a tasty addition to its milk chocolate, peanut, and peanut butter flavors. Unfortunately, you candy lovers will have to wait just a little bit longer, though, as caramel M&M's won't hit the market until May. Well, homecoming week is finally upon us, and with it comes a slew of exciting events. Brock Wilson shows us what all goes into making this week so special. Brock?
You're right, Liz. There are so many exciting events going on this week, but how does it actually all come together? Here's the scoop.
Homecoming is such a special time of year at Evangel, but not many know exactly what goes into making this week what it truly is. One of the busiest people on campus, Activities Board Director Christy Rowden, has her hands in a little bit of everything from planning theme days to organizing campus events.
I help to chair the Student Homecoming Committee. So students, which mainly it's ESGA Senate that has the bulk of the load on homecoming, but they're also assisted by the class councils as well as by activities board.
Another busy person during homecoming week is student body president Cameron Short. Along with being the leader of the ESGA, Cameron also has a different kind of responsibility, which involves meeting with the Evangel Board of Directors.
The Board of Directors meets once every semester because they're scattered all across the nation. And so they're going to come together and just kind of get an update of all things Evangel. So my job in particular is just filling them in on everything that's going on in the student body.
Another important part of any school's homecoming is homecoming court. Our own Brian Ebricht gives the scoop on what being on homecoming court involves.
Being on homecoming court, we'll do a couple different things. We'll be involved in the pep rally. There will be a game that involves the members of the homecoming court. We have the announcement ceremony during halftime at the homecoming game down in Ozark.
And probably the most important aspect of homecoming week is alumni relations. Student Stephanie Steen Martinez has the amazing opportunity to actually speak and have dinner with these very important people.
For the President's Dinner Club, I have the amazing opportunity not only to kind of interact with people who are alumni and people who provide funds and scholarships towards students, but I get to sit and have dinner with them. So I get to have actual conversations one-on-one with them, and I get to kind of tell my story of what their generosity has meant to me.
For more information on a little more of the schedule during the entire homecoming week, please visit the Evangel website. And also later in the show, we'll be going over a little bit of what's going on as far as athletics. So for now, back to you, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Brock. Well, all the coordination would not be possible without the help of various clubs and groups across campus. These organizations are encouraging students to get involved beyond the classroom. Here's how they can.
There's never a shortage of events, clubs, or organizations on Evangel's campus. Crosswalk's Emily Brown explains some of the opportunities available to students.
You're able to do outreach teams, which are out in the community of Springfield. There's impact teams, which travel around the nation. And then there's also campus events, such as Students Against Slavery, where you can pray for people in sex trafficking, and you have different opportunities that way to get involved, even on your floors with Devos, that's under Crosswalk. And there's just tons of opportunities.
The Activities Board recently held EU's Got Talent preliminary auditions. Christy Rowden was a judge at this event and believes students should get involved beyond the classroom.
There are some interest groups and even departmental clubs that students can be in regardless of major. So they're meeting people they wouldn't meet other places within these different clubs and organizations. And then they're also able to practice practical skills.
Other organizations include campus initiative groups such as Enactus, who are responsible for the Go Green changes and the more recent Starbucks addition to the Student Union. Enactus Communication Officer Hannah Davis has been involved in these student-led initiatives.
What we did is we had a team that got together and they did all of the market studying, all the feasibility, basically figuring out if it would be in our budget, if it would be possible, and basically telling the administration all of our data and being like, hey, we think this would be a great idea.
With so many opportunities, students may not be sure where to start.
The easy thing about the hub is you can click on organizations and it shows you every organization on campus. It also has a matching function where it takes your interests and it matches them with clubs and organizations on campus that have the same interests.
Student organizations like these, as well as many others, work constantly to plan campus events, improve student life, and help the community at large. Reporting for Newswatch Today, I'm Lauren Havard.
Thanks, Lauren. And now we have even more homecoming coverage with Michael, who has a special guest standing by. Michael?
Thanks, Liz. Joining me today is Mason Lewis from Evangel's homecoming planning team. Welcome to the show, Mason.
Thank you very much.
So, it's the fall season, which means Thanksgiving's coming up, holidays, but for those of us here at Evangel, it also means homecoming. And I know everyone's looking forward to it. Can you give me a snapshot of the weekend ahead?
Okay, well, we've got a lot planned, actually. It's really exciting. Tonight, from 9 to 11, we have the Evangel Bonfire, which has been a lot of fun to plan. Put a lot of work into that. And then tomorrow night, we have EU County Fair. It's going to be a blast. It's not going to be like anything we've ever seen before. Students should really get out and go do that. And then we have on Saturday, we have the big game down at Ozark High School. We're going to be we're going to bring home the win. I'm confident this time. So.
Me too. I'm feeling confident, so that's good. That's good.
Sure.
So great weekend ahead, and we were talking a little bit off camera about how you're specifically focusing on the bonfire. Tell me a little bit. I'm sure a lot goes into that planning process.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Since homecoming is such a big event, they've done a really good job of delegating, just kind of spreading out the responsibilities and making sure that everything gets done with high quality. And so, what my committee, I'm the Campus Projects Committee Chair. And so what my committee has been tasked to take care of is the bonfire. And so we've, for weeks now, almost about a month, we've been planning the bonfire, everything from the fire itself to snacks and stuff that you can have with it, to even just music and entertainment while we're there. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a lot of we've got a really good playlist coming. We've got we're gonna have s'mores, hot chocolate. We're gonna have water and stuff there. So it's gonna be a good time. We're really excited to go out and make that happen tonight. So
that's fantastic. And so when planning a bonfire, I guess it's do you actually roast like the marshmallows on the fire? Because I feel like that would just be because it's such a huge fire. And so
right, yeah. See. Everybody does it. Everybody has their own way of roasting marshmallows. We just kind of put out the opportunity for everybody to kind of do their own thing. Personally, I like to cook s'mores low and slow, just kind of nice and make it melt in your mouth. Some people, they like to burn the marshmallows. That's not for me, but there you go. Yeah. So we've kind of taken some steps to make sure that everybody can kind of make it the way that they like it. So so yeah.
There you go. So bonfire is going to be a super fun experience. And
yes.
Mesa, let's talk a little bit about you personally. What made you want to take on this role?
Well, that's a great question. My sophomore year, I knew that time was starting to tick, and I really wanted to get involved, but I wasn't sure to what capacity. And so I started getting involved in hall council. I was the sports rep for my hall my junior year, and then last year I decided to go for Scott Hall president. So shout out to Scott Hall. But I did Scott Hall president, and I absolutely loved it. And part of being Scott Hall president was representing in ESGA Senate. And so I got kind of exposed to Senate then, and I realized I really have a passion for it and I really enjoy it. And so I decided to go back and do it again this year, and this time kind of take another step up in the leadership in ESGA Senate so that I can, impact. And so for me, getting involved on campus, there's a bunch of different avenues, but if you're going to take one of the two main avenues, you've got AB or you've got ESGA Senate, and Activities Board does a really good job of setting up events and doing stuff for students now. But the way that I saw it is Senate really sets students up for success 5-10 years from now, and so that's kind of the legacy that I wanted to put myself in and kind of prepare for. So
well, you guys do a great job. And really quickly, I know when a lot of planning goes into an event, you want everybody to walk away with having a great experience. What's one thing that you want each student that goes to the bonfire to walk away with?
We've really kind of made it a theme just of fellowship. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be food, there's going to be music, and obviously a giant fire. But we encourage people to just kind of take that time to enjoy each other. Just kind of go there with your friends, go there and hang out with people, talk to people, just grow in fellowship. And so that was kind of the theme that we were going for the bonfire, but we've got a lot of, there's other reasons you can go there for food or for just to look at a giant fire.
Yeah.
It's up to you, but yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, lots of great things to look forward to, and I know everybody is so excited. Thank you, Mason, for being with us today.
Absolutely, thank you.
And very, very excited for homecoming weekend this weekend. Liz and Brian, back to you.
Thanks, Michael. Brian, I think we're all very excited about homecoming and all the festivities that this week's going to include, but you have a special reason to be excited. Brian's nominated for Homecoming King. What an honor.
It is an absolute honor, so thank you to everyone that voted me in. I was just really happy to get onto the court. It's a great group of people. We've got to do some activities together throughout the past couple of days, and it's been a lot of fun for me.
Great way to end your senior year, right?
Absolutely. It's been a lot of fun. Coming up, we'll have your full weather forecast, and we'll see what the weekend has in store for us as far as homecoming weather goes. We'll be right back.
Campus where students encounter a living Christ.
Guys, we're living the best years of our lives at Evangel University. This year's gonna be the best one yet.
The United Nations Refugee Agency says up to 1 million people could be displaced from the Iraqi city of Mosul. This plan comes with the hopes of retaking control of the city from ISIS. The agency and regional government in Iraqi Kurdistan currently have enough material to shelter up to 400,000 people. Camps like this are being constructed all over the area to support the expected mass exodus. The United Nations Refugee Agency says more is needed to do more. They are asking for $121 million in order for Iraq to close a major funding gap in helping the displaced. You know, Michael, this is a really tough story to hear, but I'm glad that they're doing what they can to get these people out of this tough situation and into a better environment.
That's right. Our thoughts and prayers will be with them. But now Brian Abrecht is standing by with our weather. Brian, what's it doing out there?
You know, Michael, I wasn't really sure last night either. We're moving on from a very serious story to some more lighthearted weather. Let's get into to the current conditions. Once again, it's overcast, 54 degrees outside. The humidity is still high at 83%, but we don't really have a chance of a big thunderstorm coming in through our area because we had such a big thunderstorm come in last night, and it pretty much the low pressure system moved its way through our area, brought in that very big thunderstorm, but it's kind of moved out of the way. So today we're going to have some sun. It's going to be partly sunny, but it's going to be much lower than we've been seeing in the past. I think fall weather is finally trying to get its foot in the door and try to last around here. Unfortunately, we do have a possibility of gusts up to 20 miles an hour. Couple of that with the lower temperatures, it could be relatively cold if you're not prepared for the cold today. For tonight, the low is going to drop below 40. It's going to be 39 degrees outside tonight, which is very, very low. It's a low that we haven't really experienced so far this fall. So be sure to prepare for that if you're headed outside tonight. Mostly clear and a north wind of 5 to 8 miles an hour. The wind will die down as we make it into the weather later tonight. So if you take a look at the satellite, obviously we all felt the impact of the thunderstorm last night, and that's the storm system that was making its way through our area, but thankfully it has moved its way out, where the thunderstorm has pretty much made its way out of the Ozarks, and we don't really have to prepare for any other thunderstorms, at least as far as I can see. These are a few clouds that are making its way through our area on the radar, but again, the major thunderstorm has moved its way past the Ozarks, and now we're moving into a high pressure system making its way through our area. As you can see, the low pressure system that brought in that thunderstorm is making its way out to the East Coast, and we have a high pressure system coming in right behind it, which is going to bring us some great sun over the next couple days. For the national highs, because of that low pressure system, they're experiencing some warmer temperatures, so the temperatures on the East Coast are going to be a little bit warmer than normal, and our temperatures are going to be right around the 50s, 60s, and maybe even the 70s in some places. And then, of course, places like California and Arizona are always getting those 80-degree temperatures as well. Now let's take a look at the 6-day forecast, and we'll see what homecoming week has in store for us. And I'm happy to report lots of sun. It's going to be nice and sunny. Saturday and 70 degrees for the Evangel Crusader football game. And then we're just going to have nice, sunny mid-70s temperatures on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So for me, that's absolutely perfect fall temperatures. I'm very excited for them. Hope you are too. That's all I have at Weather Watch. Back to you.
Thanks, Brian. I'm glad to see you use that copy and paste this week with all the sun, but
That's
I'm
right.
not complaining.
I'm not complaining either.
It's a little chilly, but glad it's going to warm up a little bit for homecoming.
Yep. Me too.
Coming up, the fight of a blind fourth grader for school books.
And Brock has details on your Evangel Crusaders, plus more sports news. We'll be right back. A blind Missouri elementary student is making national headlines for asking for help from her local school district. The plea comes after the district told her it would no longer pay for her Braille school books. The school district has state and federal funds that go towards children like Brooke who live in the district but attend a private school. While the district isn't specifically required to pay for Braille materials, the girl's father says the agreed upon accommodation should be honored. The state's Board of Education is currently performing an ongoing investigation into Brooke's case. Liz, it's so great that her and her family are fighting for this.
Yeah, she definitely deserves the opportunity for an education just like every other student.
That's right. And also working hard today is our sports anchor, Brock Wilson, who is standing by with our sports news for the week. Brock?
Thanks, Michael. An interesting story here to start off with. Gary Hunt sealed his record 6th straight world title in none other than cliff diving. The Red Bull Cliff Diving Championships finished off its world tour in its first ever visit to Japan, where Hunt sealed the 2016 Cliff Diving Championship. Hunt is a native of the UK but currently resides in Paris, and he has competed in all 50 of the World Series events that have been held, winning 3 straight from 2010 to 2012 and 2014 to 2016. On to some postseason baseball. The biggest issue with the Cubs' quest for a World Series title has been a lack of offense in the NLCS. In the first 3 games of the best-of-7 series, the Cubs' 3 through 5 hitters were hitting at a less than 100 average, and the team as a whole went 20 straight innings without scoring a run. They would turn it all around last night, however, when the Northsiders tallied 10 on the Dodgers, tying the series at 2 games apiece with a 10-2 victory. They have one more game in Los Angeles tonight at 7:10 before they head back to Chicago for Game 6 and Game 7 if necessary. On to some more campus sports. Evangel football team opened up conference play on Saturday against Mid-America Nazarene, but after jumping out to a quick 7-0 lead, the Crusaders defense was unable to stop the Pioneers' attack as they went on to score 45 unanswered points in the first through third quarters, handing Evangel the loss eventually 52-21. The Crusaders led the game in time of possession, but after a hot start, they were unable to stop the efficient Pioneers offense as they cruised to 493 yards of total offense. Now, it's been a bit of a rough stretch for the volleyball team as they had lost 3 out of their last 4 games, heading into a big game against Mid-America Nazarene on Tuesday. The offense continued to suffer for the ladies as the Pioneers held Evangel to just a 64 hitting percentage with only 29 kills. The Crusaders make one final road trip tonight when they travel to Central Methodist in a matchup scheduled for 7 o'clock. Now, there is so much going on Saturday. It is homecoming. That's a big day for Evangel sports. The cross-country team will be in St. Louis on Saturday competing in the St. Louis Fall Cross Country Classic. Now, back here in Springfield, the men's and women's soccer teams will kick off action on campus at 11 a.m. with the men's game starting at 1:30 p.m. when they battle William Penn. It's all capped off by the classic homecoming football game against Central Methodist at 4:30 at Ozark Tiger Stadium. Now, that wraps up Sports Watch. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Brock. A lot of exciting games going on this weekend. A lot of teams to come out and support. Crusaders are going to kill it, hopefully.
That's right.
Well, coming up, we'll have a final look at Brian's forecast.
And we'll follow the story of a baby born in the aftermath of Hurricane Matthew. We'll be right back.
Catch all the HD broadcast of Evangel Sports on EUTV through livestream.com. EUTV features weekly programs like Sports Update and News Watch Today. You can also see award-winning student films from Evangel filmmakers. Evangel University Television broadcasts to Evangel dorms on channels 12 and 35-1. You can also find EUTV on Mediacom Channel 84 in Springfield. And now, EUTV is on livestream.com. Broadcasting on the web 24 hours a day. So check it out. Go to livestream.com, enter EUTV in the search box, and click on the EU icon. EUTV, the home of edutainment.
This baby brings a whole new meaning to the word miracle birth after being born last Friday in a mobile hospital unit because of Hurricane Matthew. The baby boy is doing just fine, according to his thankful parents. His birth was pretty dramatic given the evacuations, power outages, and water problems happening across the city. Plus, doctors thought the baby's mother faced an emergency C-section due to birth complications. But mom and baby went through labor just fine, and even more good news, the family didn't have any significant damage to their home. You guys, I'm so relieved to hear that mother and baby are healthy and doing well. Isn't that a amazing story?
What a
absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that's going to be a crazy story to tell his friends when he gets older. That's for sure.
It is. Absolutely.
Well, Brian, I know it was pretty crazy earlier this morning as well with the chilly weather. It's a little bit different than we've been experiencing. Has it warmed up at all out there?
A little bit. I'm very happy to report on the 6-day forecast. We have nothing but sun in our future for the weekend. For homecoming, it's going to be relatively colder, 61 degrees today, but then we're going to get up to 70 degrees for the homecoming game on Saturday, and just a beautiful start to next week's temperatures of 74, even 75 degrees. So lots of sun in our future, which is awesome.
You utilize that copy and paste button.
I did, absolutely.
With the sun, which we always
put a sun here and a sun here and a sun here.
We're not complaining about that, though. There's nothing to complain about.
My job was very easy this morning.
Well, that's always good to hear. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining us, and a special thank you to all our alumni viewers who have come to visit Evangel's campus this weekend. I'm Elizabeth Fry.
I'm Michael Gibson.
And I'm Brian Ebrick. We'll see you next week.